Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour to talk to you guys about snowboarding, answer any of your snowboard questions. Stoked to be on here for the next hour with you guys. We're into January, so this is like the heart of the snowboard season. So this is like the best time for the year for snowboarding, and just stoked to be on here with you guys and talk to you and answer any of your questions. If you guys don't know, I'm going to be spending most of my season this year in Salt Lake City, riding at Snowboard and also at Brighton. I've got passes for both those spots, and yeah, so far the season's off to a great start. So I just want to thank you guys for the support in 2024. I recently got up my best of 2024 video. And big shout out to you guys, everyone who checked that video out. And thank you guys for all the support from 2024. We're into 2025 now, and it's exciting to see what's to come. If you guys have any snowboard plans, it'd be amazing to hear from you guys what your plans are for the upcoming season. And let me know where you guys are watching from as well. We've already got 22 people in the chat, 2 likes. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what your home resort is, and what your plans are coming up. Hey, Nevea, we got Nevea in the chat. Thanks for hopping in, Nevea. Appreciate you coming on. I know that your home resort is Cardrona down in New Zealand. We got Peter in the chat as well. Thanks for the thumbs up, brother. Peggy is watching from Indiana. Javier from Vail, Colorado. Nice, that's a good spot to be at down in Vail. We got Robin watching from Sweden. Okay, very cool, Robin. Int is from Australia, but going to Niseko. Oh man, that's amazing. Hope you're gonna have an awesome time. I've been seeing that Niseko has been getting a ton of snow. We got Jonathan watching from Orange County, California, and goes to Mammoth. We got Adam Bad Riders in the chat. What's up, bro? Adventurous Blondies watching from England. And Hama Adventures says, just got back from boarding at Lee Canyon in Las Vegas. Very cool, man. That's awesome. And we got Santosh from Logan, Utah, going to Beaver Mountain this season. Yeah, it's awesome to hear where you guys are all at and what your local resort is. Elliot from Kansas, and you ride at a small local hill, very cool. Micah Mirmika, what's the best budget-friendly board you could say for a beginner out in BC? Yeah, good question, Mika. For budget boards, it's the most important thing with the board is that you get the right size for you. That's easy to find out. Just like when you're looking online, check the size chart and then find the right size. But a good budget beginner board is, the most important thing is that you are finding a board that's like a budget board is already going to be more geared towards beginners. So when you're looking at those lower price boards, that's important. Just the fact that it's a lower price means it's more beginner friendly because it just has less tech in it, less of the fancy stuff that a more advanced rider would use. And then you want to look for something. So for beginners, I recommend a twin snowboard. Because as a beginner, you might not know which one your front foot is yet. And you may, as you're riding, kind of be figuring that out on the fly. So a twin board makes that a bit easier to switch between right foot first or left foot first. So that's a good place to start. Also a board, so snowboards have a bend to them, or it's called the camber profile. And what you want is a board that towards the tips has got reverse camber. So the board actually rises away from the snow a little bit early. and that makes the board a little bit easier to turn. So I recommend that too. So some reverse camber towards the tips of the board makes it a little bit less catchy, more mellow to turn. And then also I recommend a board that has a softer flex. So, and most budget boards will have a more soft flex. So something that's like under a 5 in terms of flex. And that makes it like just a bit more easy to ride and also like forgiving too. So yeah, check those out. And yeah, across the board, if you look at lower price boards, then they're going to give you, they're definitely going to be more beginner friendly. Nevea says she's ready. She's excited for this year's snowboarding season. Awesome. Yeah, down in New Zealand, yeah, it's coming up. A few months away. Yeah, Happy New Year's to you. Happy New Year to everybody. Bad Rider says, Team SBC killing it, hoping for an NZ trip. Are we getting a members chat this week? If so, members chat topic, Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere. I like that. We can do that one right now. I don't think I have time for the members chat this week. But yeah, so let's jump into that. That's like a good topic too. Northern Hemisphere resorts versus Southern Hemisphere. Because I think in my like best of 2024, most of my top places, or at least half, were in the Southern Hemisphere. And that's just for 2024. Like across many years, there's always like a few that pop up. But I would say like in terms of like big mountains and good snow, down in the Southern Hemisphere, especially in Argentina and Chile, there's like world-class resorts, very interesting mountains. The Argentina, like the development of the resorts isn't like as advanced as say some of the Northern Hemisphere places or like European resorts, but the views and the backcountry access is pretty like next level and pretty easy. And yeah, even the snowfall in Chile and Argentina is pretty good. So that is very comparable, if not better, than the Northern Hemisphere. So that's pretty amazing. There's definitely less in the Southern Hemisphere, just overall. There's just less land down south. But even though there's less land, like there's pretty populated number of resorts between Chile, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia. I'd have to put like New Zealand and Australia too for the terrain parks is pretty up there. I know, Adam, you were saying that the Australia had a pretty bad season last year. But when the snow is good, it's pretty nice. Like, yeah, the sunny park days, and even just for free riding too, with like the different landscapes and terrain. So, I mean, much more choice in the north, probably more snow in general, but Southern Hemisphere still gets a lot. Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts? What do you guys think of north versus south? We got Engen in the chat. What's up, Engen? Thanks for hopping in, man. Adventurous Blondie says, mine is an indoor snow center. There's no snow here. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Awesome that you're getting after it though. We got Medium of Media. We're doing well, man. Nevea wants to know, what do you think I should work on? Switch, ollies, or if you think there's something else I could try? I mean, I think you should keep up with your switch. Try to get your switch riding feeling like close to as even as your normal way of riding. Switch is so underrated in terms of a skill. So if you can get that really strong, and even for me now, like I'm still practicing my switch every time I go out. So just keep doing that 50% of the time if you can. Ollies, keep doing ollies, side hits. If you can do ollies and side hits just like, 20 or 30 times every run up there at Cardrona, then your jumping skills are going to greatly improve. You can add some nollies into that. So going off the nose ollie, nollie. Yeah, go for it. Get some nollies happening. And then after that, I would just find some like little side hits for 180s. Because if you can do switch really well, then starting to add in 180s in 4 different directions would be amazing. So backside, front side, and then switch front side, which is called like cab 180, and then switch backside. So start with those 4 180s, and that's kind of like a next level kind of thing you can start to practice. Another one too would be riding with your board straight and flat on the snow, kind of getting that practice in for boxes and tubes. So yeah, some of that box and tube practice. Elliot says, looking for a powder board for Whitefish, Montana. Any suggestions? Elliot, I picked up the LibTech Orca this year. That's just like, I've had that board twice already. This is my 3rd time. Very reliable, fun powder board. So I recommend that one. But yeah, one I rode last season, K2 Excavator, really fun. Super awesome board. Yeah, there's a couple, man. But yeah, check out the Orca. The Orca is pretty fun. It's volume shifted, so it's like a wider pow board. It's got a taper, so the nose is wider than the tail, making it easier to float. And yeah, super fun board. I also rode the Arbor Annex last year too, and the Arbor Annex was pretty fun. A less like powder focused board, something that you can kind of just like ride the whole mountain with as well, but still has that wider nose, smaller tail for float, and yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, check out those 3. All right. Mika says, thanks, love your content, helped me out crazy on my first day back on the hill. That's great to hear. That's my whole thing, is like trying to get people out there, making snowboarding easier for people, and just like, yeah, getting as many people as possible into snowboarding. So I'm stoked that the videos helped you with your first day back out there. Oh, Bad Riders. That's why I suggested the North versus South. When are we getting the full video? Oh, that'd be a cool video. Yeah, yeah, we've talked. There's a few video ideas you've floated out there for me, Adam. The kind of most extreme resorts, 5 like craziest resorts video, which is a good idea. And then, yeah, North versus South. That's a very cool idea too. Very cool idea. Unintentionally, it says, sitting in stateside parking lot at J Peak right now. Amazing day. Oh, that's so cool. Oh man, hope J Peak was amazing. I've never been there, but I've heard really good things. Kevin G, what do you classify as an intermediate rider? So for me, an intermediate rider is if you can like consistently link your turns down a green slope. So yeah, you're linking turns without any like having to without getting stuck on one edge. So yeah, linking turns the whole way down a green. On a blue run, like, I mean, you don't have to turn down steep stuff, but be like starting to like do single turns. So you're like doing single turns down like a steeper slope, like a steep blue. And maybe, yeah, you're like kind of, I'm thinking like very intro to intermediate, like you've passed beginner and you've started into intermediate. Yeah, you're like attempting blues. If you're just like attempting blues, maybe getting like single turns down blues. Yeah, smooth connecting turns, linking turns on a green. And I mean, if you're linking turns on a green, then you're past beginner and you're at the start of intermediate. I would say that that's the beginning of intermediate. What else? You're kind of like comfortable walking around, getting on and off the chairlift. You're like pretty comfortable with. Doesn't mean you can never fall on the chair or anything like that, but if you're feeling pretty comfortable with the chairlift, I think you're intermediate too. So yeah, those two things, walking around, 3 things. So you can skate around, no problem. You're somewhat comfortable with the chair, and you can link your turns down a green, then I think you're intermediate. Sunny Days with the $2 super chat. Awesome. I'm just going to give that a heart. Appreciate the super chat. Yeah, and if you guys have a question that you really need answering, hit that super chat button. I can see there's 54 people in the chat, 20 likes, and 1 super chat. Awesome. Thank you guys for all the support. Also, a big thank you to all the members out there too. I can see the members have the like special emoji next to their names. So yeah, thanks to all the members too. So why do you get off axis? So, I mean, there could be 2 reasons you get off axis. One is that when you are like popping off the kicker, you're popping like uneven. So when I pop, I try to think of like popping even off of both feet so that everything comes up nice and level. If you like pop it with your like too much weight forward or too much weight backwards, that can also throw you off axis. And then the other thing that can throw you off axis too is if your rotation is not like, if your rotation isn't level. So if you're like starting your rotation way up high and you're bringing it down low, that can cause you to be off axis too. So when you go to spin, make sure that you're spinning like just like a top. So you're more like level. Your like rotation axis is like level, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's probably one of those 2 things. Either your weight is like forward or backwards on the pop, making you go off axis, or when you rotate to create that spin, you're rotating like is uneven. Either like you're rotating too far up or too far down. One of those. Let me know if that makes sense. Bad riders, smashing turns and nuking red-blue runs, maybe some light blacks. That would be a solid intermediate rider. Yeah, that's definitely like on the solid side of intermediate. Like before, I think if you're kind of like starting blacks, you're kind of at like the high end of intermediate. Like you're just about to become advanced if you can kind of make your way down a black. And if you're riding blues and reds with if you're nuking blues and reds, you could be an advanced. That could be an advanced. Or if you're just kind of like on the precipice of, riding those blues and blacks with some speed, then you might be like a high-end intermediate. Nevea says, I'm at the gym working out while watching you live. Never missed one. Awesome. Thanks. Have a good workout. Yeah, thanks for hopping in here. Leonardo says, North is way better. I mean, the North is probably better just because there's like more land. But I think the South is kind of underrated. I think the Southern Hemisphere is underrated for resorts. Chile, Argentina, New Zealand, Australia. Still some like really solid, especially New Zealand and Australia, definitely lots of solid terrain parks, some fun mountains. Not as much snow as the North, but when you go over to Argentina and Chile, there's the goods. There's some like incredible riding, world-class stuff in Chile and Argentina. Fernie, Bonky is watching from Fernie, BC. Awesome. Oakway, should I try Park, even if I haven't done more than a blue slope in Europe? I mean, if you've never done a blue, I would work on doing like more riding stuff first. It's like you want to do as much riding as possible before, getting into the park. So I would, try blues, get into reds, blacks, do side hits, start doing like freestyle stuff outside of the park before you go in there. Hugo, hey Kevin, I'm from Australia and I'm working next season in Banff with a buddy. I've only boarded about 3 weeks. What should I do to prepare for Canadian winters? Oh wow, yeah, good stuff, Hugo. I'm excited for you to come out to Banff for the first time. That's going to be amazing with a buddy too. That should be super fun. If you're preparing, I would just say like you want to have layers. So Banff can definitely get cold. So if you can come prepared with like layers, that's the best thing because it's not going to be cold every day, but you want to have those extra layers to put on if you are, for when the temperature does drop. So start out with just like, your like normal stuff that you would wear on, like start from your indoor clothes, obviously, like, you're Australian, so you probably got some like board shorts, t-shirts. That's good for indoors. But then, have your like cold day in Australia, like outerwear that you bring. So like, let's say like you have a t-shirt, or I'll just tell you what I do. So if you have a t-shirt, you're good. If it's cold outside, obviously you put a jacket on. But if it's really cold, then you maybe put like a sweatshirt on under your jacket. So you got the t-shirt, sweatshirt, jacket. And when I say jacket, your jacket can be like a shell. It doesn't have to be like a big puffy jacket. It could be like a shell type jacket, maybe something that's waterproof. And then if it's even colder like that, so that's around like 0 degrees or like -3, -4. But then if it gets really cold, we're talking -10, -20, then you want to have like a mid-layer jacket. So something that has like some insulation. And then that will go on underneath. So now you're up to 4 layers. You got your t-shirt, sweatshirt, mid-layer jacket, and then top layer jacket. You're like, so then you got 4 layers. Same thing with pants. You can have just like a normal pair of pants, but then you can get like a thin base layer that you can put on underneath your pants for those like -10 days. 4 layers with the jacket, the shell on top. Have 2 layers for your pants. And then socks are the kind of like not layering socks, but I would have like some thinner socks, but then maybe some thicker ones too for those cold days. Like just gloves that you can wear around. And then you can like layer the gloves so you can have like a thin like glove. I think the best thing to keep your hands warm are actually mittens. So if you can get like a nice pair of mittens for just like walking around town, mittens are awesome. And then for your head too, it's like a beanie for just normal days. But yeah, when it does get really cold, you can get like something like a balaclava. So I've got like black strap balaclavas, and it's like a thin balaclava that you can put underneath your beanie. And then if you want to, and then if it gets real cold again, just like you could do beanie, balaclava underneath, and then like a scarf on the outside. So layers, layering it up. Have lots of options when you go out to Banff. And then like for shoes too, like you don't want to wear like real thin, like those thin like cloth material type, like running shoes. Something that has like some material to it, something that's maybe waterproof or that's not just going to seep the water in is nice as well. And something with like a decent sole, because if you're walking and it's wet and maybe icy, you don't want the sole to be like very slippery. So maybe something with like a grippy sole, either like you can get boots, or you can get like something like like a hiking shoe or hiking boot that will be grippy and also a little bit waterproof as well. All right. Turning Board says, great stance breakdown video. Been rocking the 15 front, 0 back a lot this season for all-around riding. Awesome, man. Yeah, that was fun to make. It was fun to try out those different stances. Yeah, the 15 and 0 was my favorite. I kind of want to make another one and just like keep trying like more stances. Like I only included 3 in that video, but yeah, I mean, there's more and more combinations that I want to try out. It's kind of fun, just like mixing it up and also just like showing people too. It's like you don't have to be like so rigid with your stance. You can try lots of different stances, but yeah, the 15 and 0 is going to be my go-to for days where I'm not doing any park stuff. We've got Solar says, my first snowboarding in southern Siberian mountains in 2 weeks. After that, I'm going back to Australia and I'll be checking out Mount Buller also. For the last 2 months, I've been watching your videos. Great work. Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for checking them out. Man, Serbian, not Siberian, Serbian. Oh, wow. What's a resort in the southern Serbian mountains? And you're going there in 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, let me know how that goes. And yeah, what are some resorts out there? That sounds wild. Kevin says, do you have any tips to get better on my toe edge? Because that's what I'm struggling with. Yeah, I mean, the toe edge is the tougher in general of the 2 edges. Not everyone thinks so, but it's a little bit scarier because you're sliding backwards. I think that toe edge, I think we're actually better on our toe edges, but mentally it's just more scary going backwards. So the way to fix this is to just spend time on your toe edge. There's like no other way around it, is to just slide on your toes. As you're sliding, just like look back and forth so that you're just like sliding kind of back and forth as you go down. And then when you get tired of doing the toes, then like make a turn to get back on your heels. But yeah, just spend as much time on your toes. And yeah, you'll slide whichever way you look. So if you're goofy or regular, like just look and that's the way you're gonna like slide. If you want to stop sliding in one direction, just like look to the top of the hill and that will like bring you back to center and slow you down. But also just make sure that, yeah, your boots are tight so that you're not getting any heel lift. Your bindings are done up well, and think about pushing your knees forward towards the snow to kind of get your toes in and keep your heels up. And yeah, if you're still struggling with it too, you can get someone to hold your hands while you practice your toe sliding. If you have a snowboard friend who's like a little bit more advanced, who can just slide on their heels and like hold your hands as you're practicing toes, that can be a big help too. Awesome. We got 79 people in the chat and 25 likes. Awesome. Thanks. This is a big chat. Thanks everyone for hopping in. Just want to give a quick shout out too to my sponsors. Quick shout out to Clue Bindings and Outdoor Master Goggles. If you guys need any gear for the season, I got links below in the description. And yeah, just quick shout out to the sponsors. They help to make the channel happen. So yeah, quick shout out to them. But yeah, and thank you guys too. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, everyone who comments, everyone who likes the videos. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Speaking of commenters, Bad Riders, he's, I think, still the top commenter on the channel. He's got like something like, yeah, whenever there's like a new feature on YouTube, which kind of gives me feedback on the channel, and Bad Riders is the top commenter, which is pretty awesome. Mason, about to start my drive to Stowe, Vermont to ride tomorrow. You ever been? I've never been, no, but I've heard great things about Stowe and Vermont, so I hope you have a great time out there. Baseball Boy 08 says, tips for rotating for 360. Yeah, I mean, the place to start for 360s is like if you can find like just like a bank up on the side of a run, that's like a good place to start. But the rotation kind of starts from being on an edge. So like on a carving edge. So make sure that you can practice like carving across the snow. And if you can find that side bank, like carving up a bank and having like your toe edge like carve in the snow gives you like a platform to spin from. So that's like a place you want to start. Next, you want to, in your mind, know which way you're winding up. So for backside 360, you're going to be like facing forward, and then as you pop, you're going to take that forward rotation and then turn it backwards. So in your mind, plan which way you're like lining up to rotate. And then for the front side 360, it's the opposite. So for the front side 360, you're kind of like winding up backwards, and then as you pop, you're going to rotate forward. So have that clean carving line to build a platform ahead of time. Plan which way you're going to wind up to create the rotation. And then the third thing is like getting like a clean pop straight into the air, because with the rotation, you just need time in the air to do it. So if you can pop straight up into the air, that gives you the time to complete the 360. Yeah, and then also just like think about the edge you want to land back on too, because sometimes you just need to like, as you're in the air and it's coming around, you need to give it like an extra like twist to the edge you want to land on. So if you're going backside 3, I'm popping off my toes and then I'm going to land back on my toes, like going with my right foot first. So I'm also thinking like, okay, I need to twist my board at the end so I can twist it to like going back right foot first on my toes as well. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, and yeah, have fun with it. And yeah, if you don't have 180s, definitely start with 180s, getting all 4, but there's more than 4 180s. There's like, I think there's like 16 or maybe even more 180s, but just practice all kinds of different 180s too. That will greatly help you get the 360s down too. Random says, I started a month ago and I've been riding to the point where I can do 180s and switch 180s. Any tips for progression? That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, keep doing the 180s. Yeah, if you're doing them off small jumps, like adding grabs, so try to get all the different grabs with your 180s, front side and back side. And then, yeah, once you get the 180s with grabs, then you can move on to 360s. But that's awesome that you've only been riding for a month and you're already getting 180s. That's perfect. All right. Watermelons is going for the first ride of the season. Amazing. Chronic says, I'm going to Hokkaido and Niseko at the beginning of February. Any general tips for Japan? Yeah, I mean, Japan is incredible. So there's like, you get tons of snow. So keep an eye out on the snow, and, you know, when it is a good powder day, get up there early. There's generally not like a ton of crowds or lines, but it's always nice to be first on a powder day. I don't know what your ability is, but like, yeah, just ride terrain that is enjoyable to you. Niseko, like the terrain's not super difficult. So, but yeah, you can still ride some like really advanced stuff. So yeah, find those zones that you like and that are challenging to you. If you're riding with friends, some of the gates are really fun to go out of, but you may need to bring your AVI safety stuff if you are going out of gates. So that's something to think about. Potentially bring in some avalanche like gear with you if you plan on going outside of the resort. But yeah, inside the resort, there's still like tons of fun trees. Yeah, if you like riding the trees, there's some really fun trees to explore. For safety too, like don't duck any of the ropes. Usually in Japan, the ropes are there for a reason. So don't duck any ropes. But yeah, just explore. Just explore as much as you can. And yeah, what else can I tell you? Yeah, it's talk to locals too. Like talk to people, ask people where their favorite areas are, because that's like a good way to learn too. Just like yeah, getting advice from other people. And sometimes people like show you like secret fun spots. Some of the best places I found in Japan were just because I was shown them by like locals or just like people I met there who wanted to show us like cool places. So yeah, talk to people and see if you can get any advice that way too. We got Johnny watching from Ireland. Awesome, Johnny. Thanks for tuning in, man. Watermelons. I don't know if I should bring my 686 jacket or 686 hoodie. Weather going to be 30 degrees. I mean, I would bring both. Bring both just in case. Hippie says, with all the places you've gone, have you ever met Hot Dog Hans? I know Alex is a skier, but wasn't sure. Watched his latest vid, and there's a dude at the Swatch Nines that looks like you. Oh, nice. No, I've never met that dude, but yeah, I've come across some of his videos. They're super funny. Yeah, if I ever saw him, I would definitely just try to say hello. Seems like a cool dude. Lucas, boa or laces? This is a good question for the chat. What do you guys prefer, boa or laces? For me, I prefer laces. I just find that laces, they're not that, doesn't take that much time to do them up. I find that they're like the most comfortable of all the lacing systems. And then also laces, if one of them does break, it's the easiest form of lacing to replace as well. So for me, laces are, to me, like, yeah, 100% the way to go. I've tried boas like 3 or 4 times, and I find that my problem with boas is that they do like kind of loosen up throughout the day. So I'm finding myself having to go down and like retighten. And I find that with the boa too, it kind of like gets tight in areas that I don't necessarily want to be tight. So you don't have like a uniform tightness. It's like there's like pressure points that kind of get created because it's like if you're just like pulling the lace just from like the top. And so you kind of have like uneven tightness, if that makes sense. Where with the traditional laces, you can kind of really customize where the tightness is going to be. And then have I had a boa break? I've had the loops that go down, like pull out before with the boas. And I mean, once that happens, like it's, it's done. Where laces, even if like, you can still kind of make things work with laces. What time is it? Is it 6:30 already? Okay, awesome guys. Unfortunately I got to cut the chat short there. I think is it 6:30? One second, guys. 1 second. Unfortunately, I got to end the chat there, guys, but it was awesome being on here with you. And yeah, I'm going to do another chat this week and do the full hour. But unfortunately, I cut this one short, but thank you guys so much for hopping on. We had 70 people in the chat, over 70, 35 likes, and I will talk to you guys on here again soon. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. All my gear links and sponsors are in the description. Have a great time out there snowboarding, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.